Nuri and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a behind the scenes style video. I'm going to share with you guys what our house currently looks like. We're moving things around and we're also painting a piece of furniture. We are painting our white cabinet. We're painting it green. This is the current state of our dining room. We decided to finally go ahead and paint our white cabinet green. Funny thing, we actually bought this paint over the summertime. I bought it in June, but I never committed to actually painting. As you can see, it says June 8th, and then the color is a Russian olive. This is the original color, but I felt that color was a little too dark, so we went back to Home Depot and they lightened it for us. So I really don't know what this color is called, but I really do love this color. Here's a closer look. So far, I painted one door. By the way, we started this project yesterday. It happened all so fast. My husband had off yesterday, and I'm walking on paper, so let me move back. My husband had off yesterday, so we decided to sand down. We decided to sand the cabinet and start the painting. We also did the feet of the cabinet and the sides. Today I'm going to see if I could paint a little bit more before the kids come home from school. Everything out of the cabinet, and we put it in boxes, and then we put it in the living room. Let me show you guys what my living room currently looks like. We lined up all the chairs in the living room, and then I filled up these two boxes with everything that was inside the cabinet. It's a lot happening in this room. Let me back up and show you guys. So if you remember, I had two accent chairs right there by the French door. The two accent chairs that used to go right here by the French door, we sold them over the weekend. I want to share with you guys this side. So right now, this side actually looks nice and put together. That's the pillow I just shared with you guys. Moving back into the dining room, I do have some plans for this room. So I did take off everything off the walls because we did sand the cabinet inside the dining room. It's too cold to go outside. These are plastic tablecloths. I put it down on the floor. That way all the mess from the sanding, the cabinet doesn't go onto the rug and onto the table. I also removed the picture from the wall, and everything else on the wall I moved. Put it all in the living room because I just didn't want to clean up all that dust. I don't think I'm going to put back that wooden architectural detail that I used to have on the wall. So I did patch up the wall. Let me show you guys a closer look. Real close to the wall, you can see that I try to patch up the nail holes on the wall. Once I finish painting the cabinet, I'm going to move the cabinet back this way, move all this tablecloth and stuff, and I'm going to paint the wall. That way it doesn't have all that patches, because I'm just going to put the picture wall back up there. And I also removed the accordion hook that I had and patched up the holes there, because I don't think I'm putting that stuff back in this room. So my plan for this room is actually to turn it into the living room. Yes, I plan on turning our dining room into the living room and making the living room into a dining room. I'm not really sure if this is going to happen. I've been talking it over with my husband, and I think we're gonna try it. Maybe in 2 weeks. I don't know. We're gonna keep the green cabinet in this room, and that rug right here is gonna stay in this room. But on this wall right here, we're gonna put the sofa, and I might buy a swivel chair that's gonna go by that door. That way when my kids are playing in the backyard during the summertime, I could just swivel my body around in the chair and watch them. I'm gonna share with you guys my inspiration pictures and what I'm imagining this room to be. I'm really hoping it looks the way I'm imagining it in my head, and this room looks like a cozy little nook and not just a formal living room anymore. So here's the before and after of the doors. As you can see, the white door, you could barely see the design, and now that it's painted green, you're able to see the design better. I actually didn't notice it had this beautiful floral print before. Let me know if you like this cabinet before when it was white with the distressed, or do you like it now with this green color? When I was painting these doors, I had a little hard time because there's a lot of grooves, and I had to make sure I was pressing the brush down really hard so I could get the paint inside the grooves. This was my first time painting a piece of furniture, so I wasn't really sure what I was doing, but one thing I tried to do was paint the cabinet in the same direction. That way I didn't have too many different brush strokes. Just finished painting the doors. They look so good. I did about 2 coats each door. Some I had to touch up a little bit because the inside was really hard to paint. If you see closely, this part still shows white, but when you move back, you can't really tell. It's really hard to get inside those grooves, but they look so good. I love them. What do you guys think? I'm so excited to install these doors. By the way, I just went to Michael's. I picked up rub and buff, and I'm gonna be painting the hinges and the handle antique gold. It's gonna look so good. I decided to spray paint inside my house because it's too cold to be outside, and I'm doing this so when I use the rub and buff, the white undertone doesn't show as much and it has more of a darker tone. This is the rub and buff that I picked up from Michael's earlier today. It's the color Antique Gold, and I'm just gonna take a paintbrush and slightly paint it onto these door handles. I was able to finally put the dining room back together. It took me a couple of days to paint the cabinet. This was my first time painting any type of furniture. I have spray painted a side table before, but this is nothing compared to actually painting a piece of furniture. It was a learning process for me. When I was painting this furniture, I just couldn't paint it all at one time. I had to do 2 coats per door. One door actually had to do like 3.5 coats. The reason I say half is because I didn't have to do the full door. One coat, just top one side of it, needed more paint than the other side. The first day we sanded down the cabinet. We did the sanding inside because it's too cold. And then after that, we started painting. So I decided to style this piece very, very simple. I really wanted this green color to be the star, and I just didn't want to decorate the top of the cabinet. I've always felt like when it was white, I had to over decorate it because the cabinet blended in with the wall. Our wall is not white. The color is called Silver Drop. Let me repeat that again in case I sounded funny. The color is Silver Drop by Bear. I'm not sure if this color is like still in the store, but if you ask them, they might be able to pull it up. Depending on the color of the sun and the room furniture and everything, it pulls a little bit of yellow and green, but other times it will look more gray. My entire house, the first floor, is painted in this color, Silver Drop, except the breakfast nook. The white part of that wall is actually called Polar Bear, and then the green part is called Pine Hill, something like that. I really don't remember. This color, the original color, is called Russian Olive, but I asked them if they could make it a little bit lighter, so I think they added more white to it. I'm really not sure what they did. They kept asking me, do I like this color? Do I want it darker? Do I want it lighter? And I kept telling them to make it lighter, and this is the color we ended up with. I think I found a similar color. I'm going to insert a picture right here, and I think this color is the closest to this pink color. But do not take my word for it. I just think this matches really well. If you are looking for a similar color, my only suggestion would be go to the store and look at the different colors on their wall and see which one you like, because sometimes you might like a color that you see in someone's home and then you paint your house that color, or you paint a piece of furniture that color, and it does not look nothing like you imagine, because everyone's house is different. Like I said, depending on the lighting of your house, the color will look different than it does in other people's house. I think my house pulls like a yellow undertone no matter what color I paint anything. There's always like a yellow undertone. Here's a closer look at the cabinet. As I get closer to it, you can see it's not as like yellow green. It's more of a muted green. It's funny because on the camera, it looks one color when you get closer, and then when you back up, it looks like another color. But in person, it's like a beautiful olive green. Here's a closer look. All right, this was my first time using antique gold rub and buff. I've always used gold leaf, and I think I prefer gold leaf over antique gold. And the reason why, I think antique gold has like a almost like a rose gold color. I don't know, maybe it's just me. In the beginning of the video, I said I wanted to turn this room into a living room in the future and turn the other room into the dining room, but after seeing this cabinet with this table, I love it so much. I don't know if I want to change it now. Here's another look from this direction. Like I was saying, I don't know if I want to change these rooms now, because I originally was thinking this green cabinet would look so pretty with my sofa, and I would keep this rug and all those colors would complement each other so well. But now I'm just like thinking to myself, do I really want to change these rooms or keep it as it is? I think this cabinet, painting it green, was the best decision I've made, and I cannot believe I waited so long to do this. Here's a closer look at those florals that I recently got from Michaels that I shared in my spring haul with you guys last week. I love this color next to this green cabinet. It just complements it so well. What do you guys think? Does these florals look like wildflowers or they look fake? It's a very muted lavender color, and I just love them. I have a total of 6. Remember, I told you I was gonna go back and pick up 2 more. Also, I'm thinking about using Mod Podge to make this wall art more matte look, because you really can't see it that well because of all the sun glare. But I think that's gonna be very time consuming. This is such a large wall art. It's a 36 by 24. Here's a better look at this wall art. If you remember from my last video, I said that I love getting digital prints from Etsy and getting it printed at my local pharmacy. This one was like around $6 to get it downloaded, and then the price to get it printed at CVS. And then this plant that I have on the dining table, I used to have this on the cabinet back there, but I decided to put it on the dining table as a simple centerpiece. And that's my cordless lamp. I just put it right next to it for a little mood lighting in the evening time. Nothing really here been added to the coffee bar. I'm really not decorating my coffee bar at the moment. I'm just gonna keep it as it is. I'm gonna change out the, I was gonna say change out the mugs. There's no mugs there. I'm gonna add some mugs to my coffee bar for spring. If I do decide to keep my coffee bar in this room, then I'll redecorate it for spring. But for now, I think this look does work for spring. My hutch is still turned to the side like this. My son actually isn't a fan of it. He tells me that it looks awkward. So I told him that if I do change the rooms, it doesn't make sense to just change it for a little bit. But what do you guys think? Do you think having the hutch facing the room this way looks awkward, or do you actually like it this way? I think I want to start adding spring touches to my home. So right now I just have it like this. Someone had mentioned, like, how do I clean these stuff to make sure dust is not building up? I really don't keep my hutch open like this all day long. Maybe once or twice a week I keep it open. The rest of the time I close it. I dust it probably every time I decorate. One thing I'll say is, when you're constantly decorating, you're constantly cleaning as well, because you're not keeping the same item out 365 days a year. If you're constantly decorating, you're changing these things out every 30 days or every 45 days, you know? And as you're decorating, you're dusting and you're wiping down your mirrors and your furniture, so dust doesn't really build up. Don't be afraid to decorate your home because you're afraid that you're gonna have all these items and you're gonna constantly have to dust and clean. It takes probably an extra 10 minutes out of your day to dust and clean, but you're creating a home that you truly love. And don't be afraid to live in the house or apartment, wherever you live. Don't be afraid to make it your own place. Don't be afraid to hang pictures or build your own plate rack like my husband has made me. This house is not our forever home. This is our first home, but I want it to feel like our home. I want our house to tell a story. I want my kids, when they grow up, to be like, my mom had these stuff. I remember these things. I don't want our house to look like it's out of a showroom. I want our house to look like it's lived. And if I enjoy decorating with ironstones and finding beautiful thrift items that reflects my style and personality, why not use these pieces in my home to tell my story and just my love? I don't want my kids to not know who I am. I want them to remember me by the way I decorate. I want my boys to remember the fun adventures we had at the thrift store, looking for treasures that mommy loves, and just having a home that looks like no one else's. No one in my family decorates like the way I do. None of my friends decorate the way I do, and that's because our styles and personalities are different. If your home looks like every single person, are you really expressing yourself? The goal in life is to be unique and not to be a duplicate. And I want my house to be exactly that too. So clearly I was a little chatty today and I had a lot to say about my dining room. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I just wanted to share with you guys the behind the scenes on what we're doing to our home and the little updates we're doing. It didn't really cost me that much to paint this cabinet, to give it a new look. To give your home a new update, you really don't have to spend that much money. You can rearrange your furniture, repaint. A couple of days, I'm going to share with you guys the updates we have done in our living room. So I hope you'll come back to see that video too. I'm so grateful for every single one of you that's here. Because of you guys, I get to do something I truly love and just get to meet new people. Being a stay-at-home mom, you don't really get to interact with that many people, but because of this community, I get to interact with so many of you. All right, thanks for hanging with me today. I'll see you guys soon for another video. Bye for now.